I'm the underdog with the heroic heart. I'm Eric Jones Jr. I have to keep pushing for my kids. If I give up, what's that leave them with? Nothing. I have to understand that it's bigger than me. That it's not about me when I wake up and go to work. It's not about me when I'm reading and educate myself. It's not about me when I'm practicing my speeches. It's not about me. It's about my family.
Hey, you're now tuned in to Underdawg Talk. I'm your host, Eric Jones Jr., the underdog with a heroic heart, and I have conversations with successful underdogs. And today I have Summer Hudson. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. I see that you have your coat on because the weather here has changed so drastically.
Overnight.
Yeah.
Woke up 70 degrees, went to bed, woke up 40 degrees.
Yeah, my son, he likes to wear the hoochie daddy shorts, and I was like, son, it's over with. It's over with for you, bro.
That's right.
It's no more, and it's Indiana for you. And it's like a shocker to everyone. I was like, hey, guys, it was cold around this time last year, the year before. It's cold. It's going to get cold.
Yeah.
And we don't like it, but we live here.
Yeah, I'm from Florida, so I was not prepared the first year I moved here.
Yeah.
And I immediately had to go to the store and go buy jackets because I brought these thin.
Yeah.
And the first winter I was like, oh my God.
I'm from up north Indiana, so it's a different cold.
Yeah.
So when I got here, I think for the first 7 to 8 years, I didn't have a coat.
Oh my God.
Because I wasn't.
Because you were just like,
it's like there's nothing. But then it started getting into minus and zeros, and I'm like, yeah, let me get me a coat. And I'm like, I'm in a moving process, so I just put all my coats in the storage.
You got to get them out.
Yeah.
At least one. Get one out.
Get one out. Okay, so before we get into our conversation, I've started something. I need a fun fact from you.
A fun fact?
Yeah, fun fact.
Oh God! Listen, on the spot.
On the spot.
I used to do roller derby.
Derby.
This is terrible. How much can I say?
You can say whatever.
I can say okay, so I used to do roller derby, and my roller derby name was Queefer Sutherland. And then eventually the roller rink was like, we can't use, because it got bought out, and then it changed to Pissy Elliott. Yep, and my career ended very abruptly. I shattered my leg coming around a corner, and that was it. Had to hang up the roller skates.
Let's see. I always have to think of new fun facts. So, I remember we were at a summer camp and we were playing water guns and water balloons. So it's at school, so it's a hill, but it's not your regular just hill. It's rocks, it's sticks, it's trees, and I'm running. And next thing I know, eat
it all the way down.
Yeah, all the way down. But I got up and I kept going. But yeah, that's one story. A lot of people don't know that. But yeah, I remember the Hope program. And yeah, it was bad. It's not really funny. But
did you break anything?
No, never.
Bruises,
the only time I ever broke anything or had anything hurt was when I had surgeries. But other than that, nothing. Never broke. I didn't fail so many times. I didn't, so one other, so my mom, she's old school, so she'll leave me. She's like, if you're not here.
My mom too, she's like, I'm going to leave you behind here.
She's like, if you're not here when I call your name, I'm leaving you. So she did that before. And then we're in Kmart, and I hear, Eric! So I'm running. Bow, smack my head on the ground. You think I stopped? I got right back up, and I'm like, you're not leaving me. And so I never got hurt. I just kept going. It was the adrenaline because she left me, and I had to walk. I had to walk from the mall. It's not. You're laughing a little too hard. But,
listen, but because I can relate. It must have been that are you a kid of the late 80s? Yeah. They didn't play around. They'll leave you behind. I don't care. Let somebody steal you. Good.
They're gonna bring. She gonna say they're gonna bring
you back.
Yeah, but I don't like these parents that turned into grandparents.
Oh my God!
Because they're nice. They're very nice. The kids
accommodating.
What? I hope my mom watches this. Mom, I am upset at you because I never went on a plane with you, and your grandson has went on the plane with you several times, and he's only 9.
Oh.
My feelings are hurt. Yeah,
hurts.
He was 2. Mm-hmm. He was 2. They went to Houston and then they went to California. I didn't get to go at all because I'm an adult and my bills only concern me. So yeah,
I feel the same way. My mom be like, "Oh baby, blah blah blah," to my daughter. I'm like, you would have beat me from one side to the
now
other.
they got McDonald's money. No, they don't even. They got more than McDonald's money. They got NBA tickets money. They got all flight money. They got all the money
It
in
has
the
to
world.
be it. It has
Yeah.
to be it. It has to be like as you retire and your price bracket changes.
Did they save up for the grandchildren? Like, where did you get all this money from? Like, you're doing the same stuff you were doing as I was a kid. Like,
Yes.
I'm so confused. I'm definitely making this a clip so all the grandparents of
Can hear
us
it.
late 80s and 90s babies, we're upset.
That's right.
We're
I'm not happy about
So
it.
I have a question for you. Did your grandma ever make tacos?
Actually, no, because I'm from the South.
So no, it's not. It's anywhere.
Never.
Our grandmas never made tacos.
I'm shook right now because
Never.
she's never made
Never.
us tacos.
Never, ever.
Listen, that's gonna be a whole. Now I'm gonna start asking people: is your grandmother making
Yeah,
tacos?
no,
You're
they
gonna
did.
look
It's
sideways,
like they didn't. I don't remember. Like they cooked real meals. They didn't make tacos. My mom did every now and then, but tacos didn't come until you became an adult and you was, oh, this is an easy meal that can last a couple of days. But no, they didn't.
You're right. Never. She made all kinds of junk. Never a taco, not one.
Never.
Oh my god. I wonder if it's just because like in the 50s and the 40s that wasn't like a staple.
No, maybe that might be it. That
Like
might be
maybe
the
tacos.
answer.
Maybe tacos didn't get cool until
Yeah.
like the 90s, right?
Yeah, who knows?
I mean, 'cause you got to think Pizza Hut was the bomb when we were kids,
Yeah.
especially when you had the little book it,
Oh,
and
yeah,
you would like
want
read all
something-
these books,
Yeah.
so that you could like get the personal pan
Yeah,
pizza.
yeah.
Like
the personal
pizza.
pan was the thing.
Yeah.
And then don't let it have the buffet. Oh, yes.
Yes. So I
Yes.
think like maybe our like time was like the pizza time, and then after that maybe that's when tacos kind of came around.
Yeah.
Became cool.
No, but these kids, we had fish fries. They have seafood
Ooh, yeah.
boils. It's different. We could talk about this all day, but I'm just confused at what changed. Like, where did the money change for the kids? Because they eat their Starbucks.
Let me tell you, I had to tell my husband, I'm gonna divorce you if you check out Starbucks one more time. People will drop some mad cash on some Starbucks
Starbucks is
on the
expensive.
daily.
Yes, they're there.
Yeah.
They're there. They get the app. They're like, oh, I got points.
Yeah, what points? That shouldn't even be points.
For coffee.
Oh my God. And you know, the thing is, everybody talks trash about, oh, these millennials be eating avocado toast to get their house. You know, if you stop eating, no, if you stop eating Starbucks.
Yes.
Stop drinking Starbucks.
Yes, because they don't even have, it's not even small, medium, and large. It's different language.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is because I don't drink coffee.
I don't
like
either.
People be like, oh, go there. No.
See, I don't drink coffee either, so I don't get it. My
and
husband
then their
will.
breakfast food is not really good either. So there's no
You know
reason.
what though is the bomb is their cake pops. Like
yeah.
if you just need a hit of sugar,
Yeah.
like just enough to where you're
Listen,
like, oh.
I learned about cake pops as a special ed teacher, and they like bought them for the kids. It was like, oh, and I'm like, this is real.
It's tasty.
Yeah, it's very
tasty.
cheap. If you want to do something with your kids, get a cake pop. It's very safe. It's not a big mess, and it's very good.
Yeah, delicious.
Let's actually get into the conversation that we're here for. So I looked up the top 10 influencers in Indianapolis, and you're on the list. I think you're in the top 5. I think you're number 3.
Which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And I was like, okay, let me look her up. And I'm like, okay, she's the shit on TikTok. And then I was like, oh, she actually does something. Because sometimes in the world we live in 2023,
they're just showing you what they eat.
you can be a
from.
social media person and that's it. But she actually does real estate.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. So before you were, what is your name on TikTok?
It's Find a Lot to Love.
Find a Lot to Love. Before you were Find a Lot to Love, before you were real estate, what was life looking like for you?
Oof. So I have a crazy background, which is probably why real estate brings me so much joy, because I can you can come at me anyway and I'm ready.
Yeah.
And so initially when I was in college, I went and got my psychology degree. I got a sociology degree. I worked at a methadone clinic as an addiction counselor for a while. I did hair on the side because I was always like, I got to have 2 jobs to keep my money going. I did hair for forever. And that had always been no matter what job I had during the day, hair was like the weekend to keep me going. I left the methadone clinic and started working for CPS. So I was a child protective investigator. I used to take people's kids whenever they were messing up.
I know you got stories for days.
Oh my God. Oh, that is probably the most, besides teachers, that is probably the most thankless job that is out there. I know people, there's a lot of views on that, but that job, let me tell you, I've never. So I did that for about 4 years. I left that job and went to a maximum facility women's prison to be a life coach, helping to rehabilitate some of the inmates that had been there for, since they were teens and they're getting released as adults. I had to teach them what an iPhone was. Like a lot of them didn't even, or how to write a check. Half of them didn't even know how to balance a checkbook. And so my job was to get them prepared to be released out into the wild. And then I left, went to Indianapolis when I met my husband, and I took a job at Community Health Network doing counseling for people with acute and severe mental health issues like schizophrenia, severe bipolar, the stuff like that, teaching them how to grocery shop and just do daily living skills. And then I had it. I was like, I'm done with this. I can't take it anymore. The pay's terrible. The politics are terrible.
Yes.
And a friend of mine had reached out multiple times and been like, you should do real estate. And I was terrified. I was like, I'm going from a 9-to-5 salaried position. I have health insurance. I have everything the way I need it to be. And you want me to just leap out and take a commission job?
Yep.
Oof. It was scary. But you know what? I was so fed up with social work and just the way things were going. And I was like, I got to go. So I took a leap and I've never looked back. And I won't. I won't. So, so that's kind of that was my background before getting into real estate.
So you did a lot of different things.
I sure did. I mean, it's all around crazy people, and real estate's crazy.
Yeah.
People, and the thing I'm learning is, in real estate, when you mess with people's money, big money, they get crazy too. So I'm super, like, I can get people through anything. Because, I mean, to me, I can walk you off the ledge and say, like, I know right now you feel like you're going to go crazy because you're about to drop $50,000 on a down payment, but I got you,
Yeah.
So
I think you working with all those different people and stuff helped you because, like you said, when it comes to housing and money, it's like people ain't playing around about that. And it's like, you got to make sure you're able to help people because sometimes people have real life stories of like real shit going on in their life and they're like, I want a house, but it's like, okay, I just got to be real with you. You need to do X, Y, and Z. Cause I got a guy, a realtor, and he was like, what's your credit? And I had to look at it and I'm like, shit.
No.
I'm like, okay, it's some stuff I got to work on.
Yeah.
But it takes the accountability for me to like, hey, I need to work on this and I'm not too far. So it's like, okay, if you work on this, you're able to get there. But if you're just a person to jump in and never been around people, somebody come up to you like, well, I don't know what to do.
Yeah, a lot. And that's the thing. I think people are so scared of what they don't know, they don't even bother. And so they're like, I don't want to know what my credit is, so I'm not going to look. Or I can't afford a house, look at these prices, and they don't look. And the crazy thing is, all the people that have ever reached out to me, I've been able to get them in a house. Even the ones with the worst credit and no down payment, it may not be this year, and it may be in a couple years. One of my favorite client stories is I had a client who reached out to me from Instagram, and he was like, "Look, my credit's shitty. I got kids. Like I don't have like hardly anything in savings. Can I buy a house? Like let's talk." So we came up with a game plan. I sent him to a lender to help repair his credit, which was all free. And I was like, if you get to a space where you're ready to rock and roll, let me know. 2.5 years later, I get a phone call and he's like, I'm ready. I'm like, who's this? And it was him. And he had done it. He'd done everything he was supposed to do. Bought himself a huge 4-bedroom, 2-bath house. I mean, I was like, dang, you did it. So
I might have to have a conversation. My credit, it's a little shitty.
Listen, anybody that's listening, rentreporters.com. It's a website where if you're currently renting and you're cool with your landlord or the property manager, they will report every payment you make on your rent as a mortgage payment on your credit score. So, and it's retroactive. Like if you've been living somewhere 5 or 6 years, they'll ask the person that's your landlord, like, hey, have they been paying their rent on time for the last 5 years? If they click yes, all your credit goes back. So when I did it before I bought a house, it raised my score 32 points by just starting that program. And it was, I think it cost, it's a little pricey. It's like $50 a month. But I mean, that's cheaper than credit repair.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I have to look into that. I'm about to move. I'm looking for.
oh, see, look at you already.
Yeah, because I had a suite where I lived was sweet. The rent was very cheap, and
not anymore.
And no. What? Like why? Why? Like why is
greedy
it?
Ass landlord.
Oh my goodness! I'm looking, and I'm like, okay. And the job I got, I told the lady I had to go in. I'm like, hey, some got to shake, or I'm gonna have to go find something else because the way rent looks.
Feet pictures.
Feet
pictures.
I got some decent feet.
There you go.
Yeah, I don't know.
Put some nail polish on those bad boys.
Yeah, you never know. There's people out there like that.
I know.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out little extra ways to make money. So,
it's hard. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are disparaged right now. Just with the housing is just nuts.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, how did you TikTok? Like, how did that go for you? Because you've been doing all this stuff. You're in real estate. Like, how did TikTok just pop off for you?
So initially, I used to do Facebook Lives because TikTok really wasn't a thing yet. TikTok was still kind of like, what is this app? And so I really wasn't sure. And I was in an open house. Nobody showed up. And so I was like, well, I'm going to get on Facebook Live and do a video of the house. And people chimed in. And I was like, what the heck? You're going to watch me on Facebook, but you won't walk in the door? And I was like, you know what? People are inherently nosy. Like, we can't help it. We want to know. We want to see. We just don't want to get off our couch.
Yeah.
And so that's when that whole like, oh, I get video content. Like, I get why Instagram, Facebook, things like that are becoming so popular because a lot of people don't want to leave their couch. They want to be experiencing things, but they don't. And so really the push was COVID. When COVID came around, people were stuck in their house, but as real estate kept going, we were one of the few that were allowed to keep working. And I thought, well, people can't come see the houses because everybody's afraid they're going to get sick. So I'm just going to TikTok them. And if you like the house, give me a call. And it took one video going viral. I woke up, I went to bed. Nobody cared about me. I had like 100 followers. I went to bed. I got up in the morning. It had like 900,000 views and like 2,000 followers in my sleep. And I was like, oh my God, this is a thing. And so I've just kept at it. Like, I haven't changed my content in the last 3 years. It's the same style. I haven't changed my video quality. I don't have equipment. I just roll.
Yeah, that's
It's
I mean, I don't know how to really say it, but yeah, that's simple. It sounds simple, but I'm sure you're consistent.
I am, yeah.
And that's the part of social media is the consistency.
Yeah.
So you started with COVID. That was I did that too. Like, I started rolling out videos. I was doing videos, and because I was stuck at my mom's house during the COVID time. So they had a gym. I'm doing boxing gloves. I'm doing all different outside in the woods and just different videos. And it was, it was booming because, like you said, everybody's sitting on their couch. And that's crazy that people would rather watch, especially houses. Yeah. Like, I want to go in because I know I grew up in a house. I had a house when I was married, and I've had a house for the last, 3 years. So it's like, I know, okay, it looked good, but let me go look. Let me tap on the floor. Let me knock on the walls. Because people will give you some bullshit, and you be like, oh, I did all this, and now I got to put in work. No, I want to go see. But I get the looking at the houses and stuff because, like you said earlier, like, people don't really want to take a chance and look. Like, these houses aren't that. These houses are as much as you pay rent at an apartment.
For real.
Like, I'm seeing the guys sending me house, and I'm like, this house is nice as hell, and it's not but a couple $100 more than paying rent somewhere.
It's true.
But it's all about having your credit.
Yeah. Well, and again, credit can be fixed. That's actually the easy part. And I think people are so afraid, too, of homeownership because they're like, oh, what if something breaks? What if whatever? Well, what I keep telling people is you're paying 100% interest if you're renting. You're not paying 7%, 8%, or whatever it is that you're trying to convince yourself, like, oh, I'm not buying right now because of the interest rate. You're paying 100% interest of the landlord.
Mm.
And so, you can still fix things. Like, you can put some money back to fix things. Most of the time, if you get a good house, if their real estate agent's good and they help you and say, look, we're going to ask for them to fix this before you move in,
Yeah.
then hopefully you shouldn't have too many problems when you move in.
Yeah. And people just scared. That's really it. Like, my cousin told me this when I was my early 20s, because I just had moved here to Indiana. I was staying with them. And he was like, man, get you a house, because you're going to pay the same amount of rent.
Yeah.
And he told me that a long time ago. And I went through having different apartments, but I grew up in a house. And it's like now, it's like I want a house. I don't want to go to an apartment, but I understand if I got to go for a year, I have to be disciplined to fix my credit, because that's really the main thing to me. I'm like, I'll figure out a couple more dollars of rent or get a better job or get another job to be in a house rather than having apartments. And then I might have a job out east, and then every time I look on the news, if somebody's shooting, I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, God, please help me figure it out, because I don't want to. I want to just pick somewhere, and then it's just that, because I just moved from Harville.
Oh, my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing is, though, people don't realize your credit score only has to be a 580. Which, a lot of people they assume you need 700-800, but you don't. 580 is the start for being able to get a loan. Now, of course, the higher credit score, the better your rate's going to be. But, I mean, if you're just starting out and you're like, okay, I've got at least a 580, you're good to rock and roll.
Yeah, okay, 580. Let's see, I've heard a little more.
620 is about 620 is the sweet spot.
But okay, so I'm down the street from 580.
You'll get there.
From 620, I'm down the street, around the corner. But let me get into some of my questions, because let's see. We're talking real estate. So share how your journey, like, you don't have to go into all the stories, but just how it started off. Like, how has the journey been for you, because you're a top realtor. We're going to get into that, but you're a top realtor, so you know what the hell you're doing.
Yeah.
So when you started off, how was that journey? What did it look like for you?
It's called childhood trauma. I laugh, but I grew up in poverty.
Mm-hmm.
Extreme poverty in Florida, and my parents eventually got their stuff together, and they kind of kept climbing, and I can remember, my childhood got a little better and better because my parents kept doing better and better. But there's a tinge of overachiever in me. Mm-hmm. I'm not the person who sets a goal and then says, okay, I've met my goal, I'm done. I'm like, okay, I hit a goal. Now what? Now we're gonna keep going. And so, my journey, I'm just one of those people, like, there's no such thing as quit, and there's no such thing as no. Like, for me, it's always like, okay, how are we going to manage this? Or it may take me, a squiggly line to get there, but I'm going to get there. Mm. And so I really think it's mindset. For me, I had like a small midlife, it wasn't even midlife, it was like quarter life crisis in my 20s. Mm-hmm. And I was like, what am I doing with myself? Like, why am I dealing with shitty men? Why am I dealing with shitty friends? I'm in this crappy small town. And somebody had said to me, like, the universe is telling you, let go or be dragged. Mm-hmm. And I was being dragged. I was being dragged. And I thought, you know what? It's true. Why am I not listening to my gut and my instinct and saying, okay, I'm more than this? And that kind of that's probably like 26 at the time, about that age. And that's when I was like, no, I gotta do different. The relationship, I ended it. I backpacked through Europe for about a week and a half. And I came back and I was like, okay, I'm going to, whatever it takes for me to get to where I'm at. So I've always been the person that, I was 40 under 40 when I was in Florida. I have all these like magazine clippings and stuff because I'm always trying to do better. And eventually, I don't know where that's going to take me, but when it came to real estate, for me, it had nothing to do with, I want to be the best. I want to be number one. For me, it's, I want to go to bed at night knowing like I did something cool. I did something different. My clients really, truly love what I'm giving them. Because I'm all about people. Again, because I came from social work. Mm-hmm. For me, it's not the numbers. Yeah. For me, it's like, I want to make people happy. And I found that my business thrives because people are happy when they work with me or when I work with them. And so, yeah, I'm just going to keep going. It's never enough.
I love that you what you say or get dragged.
Let go or be dragged.
Let go or be dragged. And I think a lot of people are there.
Yeah.
A lot of people are there because life has been lifing. It seems like each year when you're going through something, the world's going through about the same thing, or everybody's kind of on the same wave, and it's just been hard. I think because the price is going up, jobs don't want to pay you, and it's like, I don't want to go to this job. I want to do something for myself, and sometimes you're scared, or it's like, I think a lot of times people look at social media and be like, oh, this person. No, a lot of people have been doing it 10 years before you even saw them. Before you even knew who they were. They were doing stuff in their community. They were doing stuff behind the scenes. Then social media came and they figured out social media. Mm-hmm. And then now you know them, and it's not, like people think it's microwave. It's not microwave.
No, it's not. It takes a long time to build.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I truly believe if you find what brings you joy, even if there's some risk to that, right? Like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to have a paycheck if I do this. But if you truly find joy in it, you're going to bring joy to other people. And that's what people pay money for. People pay money for happiness and things that make them feel good. I mean, and that's the thing, like, you know, I saw a guy, a Shark Tank. Do you watch Shark Tank?
I don't really watch it, but I have before.
Yeah, this guy was at the grocery store and was sick of his bananas going rotten, and so he patented banana hats. Like you put a little hat on the end of a banana to keep them fresh. And he's making stupid money off that because he was like, I'm sick of my bananas being... And I mean, now he's a millionaire because he made a hat for a banana.
Yeah,
I mean,
wow.
Isn't that weird? Like, and I think to myself... because he listened to his gut and something told him, do this. And, you know, he could have been like, no, banana hat's stupid, man. I'm not going to.
Or his friends.
Or his friends could have been.
Or family.
Yeah.
No, why would you do that? You didn't go to school to do that. Yeah. You haven't been doing all this working at that job. And then now all of a sudden they like, oh, yeah, well, let me get a
piece of that. No, thank you.
And you're right. Like, when sometimes we look at, so for instance, the stuff that our kids watch, I don't know what it is, like YouTube, it's dumb. Right. It's dumb to us as parents, but they're doing what they love to do. They're doing stuff. They're at home just buying stuff and having family fun.
Up, yeah.
And the kids are, oh my God, have you seen the new? Why are you watching this? You know, we could put a camera in front of you and you could do this. Right. But instead they watch them and we look at them as corny. Do you know who Jack Hartman is?
No. That name sounds familiar.
He does school stuff for kids. And to me, he's corny. He's probably $70 million. He knows what he's doing and he does it. He probably doesn't care that I said he was corny. The reason why is because when it comes to hip hop, he does stereotypical stuff and it's like, come on, dude, it's 2023. But other than that, he's a good, like, if you put it on for the kids, he's gonna help them out. Yeah. And then you looking at him, it's like he's 70 and he's doing that. But he thought of it.
Yeah.
A lot of times we have these ideas and we don't do them. I promise if me and my buddies in college would have had a camera in front of us, we would have been one of the shows.
You would have made some.
Like, if you had a camera in our house, you're going to be in tears. Yes. Because there's too many people that had jokes. It was just fun. And it was like, you're going to hate this person because of whatever. You're going to like this. But we never thought of it. And now it's like, I'm in front of a camera.
Yep.
I'm doing, like, my mom, I was like, what did you think I was going to do? She's like, I don't know. You talked a lot, so something with talking.
Yeah.
And like you said with podcasting, I don't do it just to talk to people. I want to learn from people. Yeah. And then I want people to learn from the show. I don't do, like, certain podcasters do it because to be a podcast. I do it because I really want to be on a talk show late night and everybody tuned in.
Yeah.
That's where I want to take it. And that's how you got to look at it. And it's going to take a while. I didn't have ups, downs, bad episodes, bad guests, forgot to upload episode, all that.
Yeah.
Because it's life. But if I would have stopped a long time ago, people wouldn't have known who I am. People wouldn't be like, oh yeah, I'll get on your podcast. People don't know me from a can of paint. Never met me before. But because a little traction or they see, oh, I like what he's doing, they get on the show. You just got to keep going.
Yeah.
And like you said earlier, don't say no.
Yeah,
Don't not say no, but don't look at no as a bad thing.
Yeah, it's true. And the thing is, like, you know, a lot of the opportunities that I have been blessed with or that have gotten to me to where I am is because I took the risk and didn't say no. Even like with this podcast, right? Like, this opens up avenues for both of us.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm going to probably post it like, hey guys, guess what? I did a podcast today. And that helps each other out. And that's the thing. Like, I love the sense of community. Like, I love when other people are, you know what I mean? Like, collaborating.
Yeah.
Like, to me,
Networking.
that networking, collaborating, I feel like there's so much in that. And even, you know, I just started collaborating with the Humane Society and doing TikToks for their dogs that need adoption because they're drowning right now.
Ooh, that's smart.
I know, and because it comes from my heart. Like, I legit, if I see a dog on the side of the road, I'm like, skirt. My husband's like, if you bring home another damn dog, and I'm like, listen, this one needed my help. But it's something I'm passionate about, so it's not sucking my energy out because it brings me joy.
Yeah, and you're not doing it for clout.
No, like I'm legit like, somebody please come get this dog. This dog's awesome. Like, he needs a family. And so, and also, you know, we have this challenge here, and you know, this rabbit hole could go so deep, but I really truly believe that, like, if each of us take a nanosecond of our lives and we put it towards something that brings us joy or brings others joy, like, with that ripples out, you know. And everything that's going on right now with the post-COVID and the politics, like, everything sucks. We all are in agreement, no matter what political party you are. Shit is bogus right now.
Do we even have a president?
I don't, for real.
Like I know the guy's name.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen him, heard none of them. It's like they got elected, and it's like, all right, whatever.
And that's the thing, like, you know, I think when you feel, and this kind of applies to life too, I feel like if you get to a point where you feel like you don't have a say, or you're squished into a corner, and you're like, I don't know what to do, I don't know how to help anything. Sometimes the only thing is to help yourself and do something on a micro level. Like, even if that means, like, you know, there's you're going to be like, some of you're crazy. There's a motel that's near where I live. And it's a motel that has people that can't afford housing at all. Mm-hmm. And there's kids there. I mean, little kids there. And they don't have a pot to piss in. Mm-hmm. And so my kid goes through clothes like crazy. That child, bean sprouts. And instead of going and taking him to Once Upon a Child or taking him to Goodwill, where, you know, corporates are going to get your money, I go to the hotel and I drop them off and say, hey, do any of your kids need anything? I've got a couple of kids that need jackets right now that I'm trying to get jackets for them. And, you know, it's just a motel in the middle of nowhere. Nobody cares about it. Yeah. But for me, if I'm making that one little step, that's the one thing I can control in this chaotic world, right? Is paying it forward in a small micro level. And, you know, again, it's not for clout. It's just because, like, I truly believe if we just are one little fraction of the bigger piece of pie, we could all do something so much greater than what we're doing.
Yep.
You know,
I'm the same way. So I've been working in the school system last 7 years, and if I see, trust me, I don't like it. So when I end, I'm definitely gonna tell all the stuff I'm gonna put. Put it on blast. It's a lot. It's a lot. But, like, I'm the type of person, I see a kid with hey, you got a coat,
right?
You need a backpack. You need something. Like, I'm just that person. Like, I don't like my son's mom be like, oh, you know, some kids need some clothes. Yep, come on, we're going to bring them. Yep. Just like you, I'll go drop them off somewhere that I know there's kids there. Yeah. Because sometimes parents, listen, life is hard as fuck. Yeah. Take the help. Don't be too prideful that I don't want my kids having hand-me-downs. Who cares? You had hand-me-downs. Trust me. We all have. Take the help because your kids need it, because they go to school and it's uniforms. How's your uniform dirty? How you got holes in your uniform? Like, my son go to school clean. Like, we not sending him, he don't got the latest stylish. He get clothes from all over, but he's clean. Like, make sure your kids is clean. Because if your kids don't have the confidence in their looks, they're not going to perform well. It don't got nothing to do with us teachers. Then y'all send look, man, listen.
I know. You see, listen, downward spiral. I know, it's a whole other podcast.
Like, these girls' hair, it's like, I don't know how to do no hair, but, like, golly, stop sending y'all kids to school looking like Who Shot John and then expecting them to perform or wondering why they got in a fight. They getting bullied. They getting talked about, so they got to defend themselves. And it's people like us. Oh, go ahead.
Well, you know, the thing is, though, that rabbit hole even goes deep because working with CPS, you realize, like, there's all these generational traumas, right? And they get passed down and passed down and passed down. And if nobody's brave enough to break the cycle, It just keeps going. And so some of these kids, their parents, even though you're sitting here saying like, bathe your child's behind, put them in some clothes because, statistically they do better in school and they, whatever, if they show up clean and, whatever. But there are some people who legit, because their families grew up in pigsties like that, they think it's normal. They really don't know. And so it's a shame because it all starts, I truly believe it starts with, like, I wish we could change the way our mental health system and everything work and start with CPS. Because I feel like it starts with the kids. And the more the kids are traumatized, the more that they're put in these terrible environments, those kids grow up to be the ones that are shooting up schools and being terrible politicians. And you know what I mean? Like, if you dig deep, it starts at childhood.
Yeah, because I see kids that go through real life shit.
Stuff they shouldn't have to worry about.
And like, I was a kindergarten teacher. I'm pretty sure this one kid's parent was on drugs.
Yeah.
And it's like, he come to school, he's 30. I'm cleaning him every day as much as possible, not putting his business out there. But hey, come on, let's go wipe you off. And he smile on his face just from somebody doing that. And it doesn't take, like, people will do stuff and put it on. I don't need to do that. I'm not going to blast his parent. Life is hard. I understand. I'm a parent, but you got to do the best that you can for your child. Yeah. Like, it sucks. And it takes people like us that do the little stuff, that care. Because and this is the craziest thing. I've been like this since a kid. Yeah. If I see another kid, I always try to figure out how I can help them. That's just been me. I remember a couple stories where I've seen, we went somewhere, and that's how it started a friendship. Seen these girls, they ain't, mom couldn't send them no dough. Hey, I got y'all. Y'all go get something to eat. Because I've been there. Yeah. I've been that kid that somebody take me somewhere, they be like, get what you want. You sure? I can get a number. I can get a couple. Okay. Because I'm like, I'm good with a burger and a fry. Yeah. And I remember that. And those little things put a smile on the kid's face. Or like little girls, they be calling me, what up, big head, or whatever. That's our little thing. And like other teachers don't get it because they know they can come to me if they need some. Or we go on a walk. Hey, come on. Let's go in here. This where the candy at. But if you tell somebody, you can't come back. And I got some candy. I'm like, eat this before you go into class. And that opens them up to want to talk or, hey, what's going on today? You tripping. Because now we build a relationship. And it takes little stuff. Yeah. And you just got to remember when you were a kid. I think even if you didn't have a bad childhood, think of the little kid that did. Yeah. And what one thing could have made them smile. So we didn't went down a couple rabbit holes.
I told you, listen, we could do this all day.
Yeah, we really could. So let's see. How did you become a top realtor? I don't know if it's 7 years consecutively or over time it's been 7 years, and you've had over 350 transitions. Like, how did you get to that point? Because I know life happened. You said you're married. I know I've been married. Marriage ain't a walk in the park. You got kids, and you're at the top of your field. How did you do it?
Well, again, it's that weird drive that I have to just one up myself. Mm-hmm. Just always doing that. But honestly, I feel like, it's kind of a loaded thing. The first year I started real estate, it was do or die. Like, I didn't have any income. If I didn't sell houses, I wasn't gonna eat. Mm-hmm. And so, for me, I never wanted to go back to where I came from. Because when I say poverty, we were like in a trailer park where there was not good people. Like, it was not a good situation. So for me, people can be scared of rats. People can be scared of snakes. I'm scared of going back to that. Yeah. And so that's a motivator for me. Like, I've always been like, nope, I will never go back there. My child will never know what that life is like. And if I have anything to do with it, I hope nobody else's family has to live like that. And so year over year, I guess the answer really is I'm authentically myself. I am authentically and unapologetically myself. Now, it's got me in trouble. It's got me in trouble because sometimes I pop off and I say some things I probably shouldn't because I get passionate about things. But at the end of the day, when I had that kind of crisis in my 20s, I finally was like, who am I trying to impress? Like, you're not paying my bills. You're not living my life. You haven't been through what I've been through. And then I think I really propelled forward after I had my daughter. There is something about being naked in front of a room full of people staring at your crotch and you're giving birth that you just like, all your dignity goes out the window. Like, you got no dignity. And I realized, like, I am just one person in a sea of a billion people.
Mm-hmm.
And really, at the end of the day, nobody cares. But what I can do is show up as myself and share myself fully with other people and say, I hope you like me. And if you don't, I'm not for you. That's cool. Go do what you got to do. But here's me in the raw form. And if you like me and you align with me, I'm a huge believer in your vibe attracts your tribe. A huge believer. And so TikTok really allowed me to be like, here's who I am. I'm crazy hair. I got tattoos. I cuss a lot. You know, I've got a family that I love. I love dogs. I wear weird sunglasses. Like, this is who I am. And TikTok is cool because it's got an algorithm built into it that it shows you people that are like you.
Yeah.
And so TikTok kind of took out the hard work of me finding my tribe because TikTok was like, let me do the calculations and find other weird people like you. And who would have thought 130,000 people later are all people who watch me because they can identify and they know what to expect from me. They know my style. They know who I am. And even if I have an off day when I'm recording, I'll have people come in the comments and go, are you feeling sick? Are you okay? You don't sound right. And I'm like, damn, my husband didn't even ask me how I was doing today.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And so I've built a brand for myself. And my brand has really just been being myself wholeheartedly. I show up who I am. And if you don't like it, I don't have time for you either. Bye. You know, it sounds terrible, but.
That's an honest answer. And I think that's me. That's why I started a podcast.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to be me. I wanted to talk my shit. I cuss, a little ratchet, but I'm intelligent. And I get people on here that can have a conversation. And I learned how to have a conversation. I learned through conversation, communication. I don't learn through reading and stuff like that. So I figured out what helps me. And this is something I like to do. And it's like, I'm just going to do me. Everybody's not going to like you. Everybody didn't like Jesus, so everybody's not going to like me. And I'm like, hey, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Because looking different, you already get people's dumb opinions of you. And it's like, all right, cool, whatever. And then you get to know me. And it's so funny because being a black guy and working in schools is very hard.
Oh, yeah. I imagine.
And people, instead of actually getting to know me, never mind, I'm not going to say that. But instead of getting to know me, you go and talk about me or be like trying to figure me out. Hey, guess what? If you come up and you have a conversation with me, you'll figure me out. Yeah. Like, stop being scared to have conversations with people you don't know and then place an opinion about them. You don't even know them. Go have the conversation. I'm not going to bite. Yeah. You might not like everything I say, but I'm not going to bite you. I'm not going to hurt you. Like, unless you just a soft person. Like, because I'm honest. I'm going to speak what comes to my mind. It's just weird how people...
You know, though, are you the kind of person you'll be in the grocery store, though, and somebody will come up behind you and tell you their whole damn life story? Are you that kind of person? Because I am. Like I'll be standing in line, people just start talking to me like I'm like, I'll listen.
It happens. And I learned this a long time ago. People be like, you just... Something about you makes you familiar. Yeah. Like, people, like, I'll work with somebody and we'll have a relationship. They be like, y'all just met? Yeah, we just met a few months ago when school started.
That's right. We'll be BFF now.
Yeah, and just because I'm me.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, you either like me or you don't. It ain't no in between. Yeah. If you like me, you know, hey, he gonna say some crazy shit. He a little off, but he's a cool guy, and I have a good heart. Like, I think that's what gets me where I'm at. Like, I have a good heart. Like, when it comes to kids, if you bully a kid, we might fight.
Yeah, same.
Like, if you messing with a kid, even if it's a kid I like, don't do that.
Yeah.
And that's just me. And I'm the same way. Like, I'm unapologetic. I don't care if you don't like me. I got family members that don't like me. I don't care.
Same. I'm like, I'm not here to impress you.
And it could be family members like, get away from me. You're only in my family because of how things
you gotta be
matched up. But I don't really like you, and I don't want you around me. And I'm a person off of vibes and energy.
Yes, I was just about to say you got good juju. That's why.
Yeah.
I feel like there are just people that are put on this earth that are just here to be good vibe, like just good juju. Bring a collective consciousness. Like, listen, that's a whole nother rabbit hole podcast.
Yeah,
but I'm here for that. Yeah, I truly think that, like, the energy that you put out is going to boomerang right back.
Yes. But you have to remember, the energy you put out when you was doing bad shit, it comes back.
That's right.
And it's crazy because now, as a mature adult, when stuff happens, I'm like, it can't be from the last whatever years. It had to be something I did in the past. And I think about it like, remember that. Oh, that's why that happened. Mm-hmm. So, young people, if you're listening, always try to do the best thing possible. Don't do dirty stuff because it's going to come back to you and you ain't going to know why.
Yeah. And it'll be years later, you'll be like, oh, heck.
Like, I never stole nobody's, well, I was in my mom's car, but I told her later. But I got my car stolen, and it was crazy because it was a gift. It was like something on a movie, how I got this car. And then within a month later, it got stolen, and it was like, why? And I learned a lesson, and I understood, and I was like, it had to be something, but it was more so of a lesson because it could have went a dangerous way because like how I got in the car, and if I had a gun, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have made it, but I didn't, and I had to learn from that, and I think people learn from your lessons so you don't repeat them.
Yeah.
So you can have good energy, because if you don't learn from those lessons, you'll still be that same person, and then you'll be like, dang, why ain't nobody around? But one thing I want to tell people, when you have that, like she said, good juju, you have that great energy, you're not going to have a lot of friends.
No, that's true.
There's not going to be a lot of people around you because people aren't going to like that energy. They're not attracted to that. Because you can have friends and nothing wrong with 9 to 5 people. I work a 9 to 5, but I'm thinking bigger. And if that's the conversation they're having, you can't be around them because it's not going to help you get to where you want to.
Yeah.
So, yeah, energy, like, I'm going to tell you, you're married, but this is to the ladies that's single. Women, I'm going to tell you a secret. Men, we go off of energy. Just because we sleep with you don't mean we want to go out to eat with you. I'm trying to, it's about your energy. And just because we go out to eat with you don't mean we want to sleep with you.
That's true. Yeah.
It's about the energy. So don't take it as, oh, I gave him some and he don't want to. It's your energy.
Yeah.
It's your energy. People don't realize that I will cut a person off so quick. I don't put people's name in my phone until like a week or two later.
Really?
Because I don't know if that energy gonna stay. You delete you real quick.
Yeah.
Well,
and you know what I've noticed too is like, if I think of people on frequencies, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like there are low vibing people who, they're out doing things they shouldn't be doing because they have life lessons they need to learn. I don't look at people as good or bad either. I don't look at somebody and say, oh, they're a terrible human being. I say, okay, they've obviously had trauma. They've obviously this is their soul's experience on this earth right now. They got to do that. For whatever reason, that's their journey. It's not mine, but it's theirs.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I'll meet people and be like, oof, they got a low vibe. Like, I can't mess with that. I can't fuck with that because they need some more growing, mm-hmm. right? And I'm always looking for the people that, when I network, I'm looking at people like, damn, look at what they're doing. Look how great they are. Look at the, high vibe and whatever. I want to sit down and conversate with those people. Mm-hmm. And again, my circle of people is small. And I like it that way though, because I feel like if I see somebody that's spectacular, I'll get to know you. And if we don't, that's fine. Keep going. Go your way. I'll go my way. But yeah, I truly, same thing. You got to keep the same way.
And it's crazy though, because when you're young and you're in high school and college, you think, oh, I'm supposed to have all these friends. No. It's so much like work. My friends is me, myself, my son, and God. I feel like I got homies, but it's like when you really it's just, that's it. It's not that many people. And one of my best friends is myself. I love talking to myself.
Yes.
I get a lot of stuff done. People be like, what you say? I wasn't talking to you. I'm talking to me.
Yes. Don't
worry about it. I'm talking to me. Worry about what you need to do over there. But I'm talking to me. And I answer myself. I don't care. You could call me crazy. I heard the smartest people in the world talk to themselves. Because if I don't, it'd be problems for some people. I'll be like, Eric, don't say nothing.
Oh my God, me too. I have to stop myself a million times.
Just be quiet. Because I'm a jokester at heart. So it's jokes that come to my head. And I be like, it's stuff I see on Facebook. And it's people, and I'm like, I'm not going to say it.
Oh my God. Okay. I've been in Facebook jail so many times. The last 2 years I haven't, though. I've been real good. I've been learning that lesson. Just step back, type it out, and then erase it. Type it out and erase it. Because I'm one of those people, too. I'll be like, oh, I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
And not anymore.
This is what I hate when people are on live. And then they're like, the mic's the camera, and they're like this. I'm waiting on people to get, why are you so close?
Back up.
Back up. Or you can tell the older generation, the way they take that picture, and it's like, oh my goodness. was like, come on, somebody help him. Somebody help him. Like, it's so much funny stuff. That's why I don't go out. Like,
I don't either.
Because if you take me to the grocery store, you're going to be in tears by the time we're done.
Yeah.
Because I don't have no sense. And and if you're with me and my son, he's a junior me. So, he don't got no, and he's louder than I am.
Oh my God.
I forgot what he did. We were in, it was a kid crying. And my son, he's 9. I think he was a little younger. He wasn't young, but he was old enough to like understand. He was like, oh my God, why is that baby crying? I'm like, no, you can't say that. Like, we can't do that. And I always tell him, hey, bro, I'm not trying to fight. Like, you can't, like, he will say he don't care.
I know.
Like,
I got to be careful. My kid she's so intelligent, but she's the quiet thinker. You can tell she talks to herself too. And so I know she's going to be the kid that goes to school and be like, my mama said your mama's a bitch. Like, I know she's going to be that one. And I'm just like, oh my God. We were riding, this is probably TMI. We were riding to school. It was completely silent. We're listening to Moana or whatever it is. And out of nowhere in the back seat, I hear her say, Mama, Daddy has a penis, yes or no? Just flat out. And I was like, yes. And she went, okay. Sat in her seat in silence all the way to school. And I'm like, what the hell is she thinking about? That she's back there like, but she's the same. Like, she is so funny, but she's also, like, you can tell she's an introvert.
Yeah.
Like, she likes to think to herself. And I'm always like, God, what's in her brain? But I'm like, I know what's in my brain. And if she's anything like me, she's in so much trouble.
Yeah, my son, and he's like quick with the draw, but it's funny because he can't do it with me. He tries to joke, and I'm like, dude, you're not on this level yet. Like, there's levels to get to where I'm at, but I do it with him so he can be able to with other people. And I'm not gonna say what he said to me or what I said to him, but because I don't want to get in trouble because I allowed him to say it. But I said something to him, and he said the edited version back to me, and I was like, should I be mad? But I'm like, I was happy because he was so quick with it, but I was like, don't say that no more. And I understand I'm not going to say that to you no more, but I was like a proud dad, but then I was like, oh no.
Oh yeah.
Do your kids cuss?
So I thought during the spring and the summer, like, I would go and get bird seed and we would talk about birds, right? We're going to watch birds. We have a really pretty backyard garden. And I was like, I'm going to get a birdhouse. So I brought home a big bag of bird seed. While I was carrying it out of the car, it busted open and it spilled all over the driveway. And I was like, son of a bitch, I'm just going to leave it there. The birds lead it off the driveway. Mission aborted. And I'm walking through to get more bags out of the thing, and Isla has never seen birdseed before. Mm-hmm. Like, she's 4. Mm-hmm. And she kicks at it, and I hear her under her breath go, what the fuck is that? And I couldn't even be mad. Because she was just like, and I get it. Like, and so I looked at her, I said, baby, listen, those are only words that adults use. And I said, I'll tell you. She said, I can't say that. I said, no, you can say that when you drive. One day when you're driving, you can say that. Well, sure enough, like 2 weeks later, we have a long driveway. And she was playing outside, and she said, Mommy, can I sit in your lap in the drive? And so I let her help me drive up the driveway. And she turned around and looked at me. She goes, can I say that word now? Can I say fuck? I'm driving. And I was like, oh. And I mean, how do you argue with that? Because I did tell her, you can say the F word.
She remembers.
She did 2 weeks later.
Yeah, kids don't forget.
Oh, my God.
My son, he's like, yeah. I've been cussing since 3rd grade.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, oh. But his sister, when she was in 2nd grade, some girl pissed her off, and she wrote a note and called everybody a motherfucker and everything. And she didn't spell mother right, but everything else was.
Everything
and we
else
were
right.
like, oh, okay. But I remember when I was in 3rd grade, and that's when I started cussing. My mom didn't know I cussed, so I got in trouble in like 5th grade. But I can't be like, dude, no, you can't. I'm like, just don't use it around us. Like, because, I don't know what whatever they're called, Gen Ed, whatever.
Oh, my God, they're Gen A? No, something.
Gen crazy, that's what I'm going to call them. But they are too spoken. And they, like, my son, I've seen him cuss. Mainly basketball. I remember he was doing something, he was like, fuck. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. And then I've heard him in conversation. he called one of his friends out their name. And I was like, hey, brother, you can't do that. Because I was like, if that wasn't your homie, he want to fight you.
Yeah.
So it's they speak their mind.
Well, and you know what though? I really hope that the generations that are coming in as kids now, because I think more parents are doing the work than ever before. I mean, if you think about like the parents of the 50s, you know, even and our parents, like there's so much narcissism and so much like disconnect and emotional neglect. And
there's a lot of beatings.
Yeah, a lot of beatings.
Abuse.
Like, and emotional abuse even. Like, okay, maybe your parents didn't spank you, but, you know, emotionally they weren't there. Yeah, and so I feel like each generation we're getting a little bit more in touch with our emotions. We're getting a little more in touch with, okay, we probably shouldn't be spanking our kids, right? Like, you know, the data's coming out. And it's like I keep hoping that, like, our kids, like the 10 and under right now, they are super outspoken. They're super intelligent. They have an emotional intelligence that we haven't seen in people in a long time. They'll be like, you know, my kid looked at me the other day and she said, "You're being mean to me." And at first I was like, what the hell? But then I realized, like, she has the wherewithal to know that my behavior was inappropriate to her. And she knew it. You made me feel like shit. You're being mean to me.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even hate. I couldn't even be like, don't talk to me, your mother, like that. I was like, you know what? You're right. I was really mean just now, and I'm sorry for that. Like, I was being an asshole. You're right. And so, you know, I really hope that this, even though they're crazy, I'm hoping they're the ones that come in and clean up the shit show that we've got going on.
You're like so right. Because his sister, she's 18. I remember once I was doing something, and I asked her to do something, and she was like, "Well, you didn't do it." And I'm like, first I'm thinking of my mom, like, oh,
I'm gonna beat your ass. You better do
no. And then it's like, no, you're right, because I think the generation before us, the generations, because we're not gonna blame our parents, we're blame great parents.
Yeah.
Because my mom's still alive and she fight. But anyway, I think they didn't know how to talk.
Yeah.
It was like, because think about when you were a kid, if your grandparents passed or a friend or somebody, they didn't take you to counseling. They just swept it under the rug. Oh, your friend died a few months later, you'll be all right. No, that fucked the kid up for forever.
Yeah.
Like, I remember for the longest of time, my first funeral that I can remember, well, it was my great-grandma. My biological dad died. I remember the after funeral part, but I don't remember the funeral. And I remember seeing her in there, and I would have bad dreams. Yeah. That's one of the reasons I don't like going to funerals, because I don't want to see that person there, because I would see that person. And for the longest, if you weren't like blood, I wouldn't. I'm sorry, I'll send a card or something, but I can't do it. And nobody ever said, "Hey, are you okay?
Right?
You good?" From the first time you went to see somebody dead, or you saw somebody dead. Like, I walked in and I saw my granddad in his chair dead. We didn't have no conversation about that.
Yeah.
It gets swept under the rug. And now it's like you have to have those conversations. Or like the kids would be like, "Hey, you all right? You feeling okay?" They'll check on you because they know you're not yourself. Or, "Hey, you was mean to that lady. You shouldn't have said that, Mom. You shouldn't have said that, Dad." Right. Then you gotta look and be like,
damn.
I set an example, so I can't really say that, because if I say that, then you gonna think. And so back to, we're gonna go toward, I'm gonna ask my last little questions. What just triggered me to parents. Parents, you can't get mad because little Timmy is cussing at school and you cussing little Timmy out.
Yep.
It's not our fault.
Yeah.
It's your fault. Because when you come in and pick him up, guess what? Oh, you don't see why he acting like this, huh? Okay. But yeah, we talked about a lot. I need my own podcast too. We just need to have a sideshow. Yeah, like, because we talked about a lot, and it was good. See, sometimes it's not about what the person does; it's about getting to know them. Yeah, and you had great energy. We had a conversation. People would think that we know each other. I met her 5 minutes before we started recording. Yeah, that's it. We talked through email, and it's just the energy, like, and I love it. So we talked a little bit about really. Okay, give people 3 tips on life. They're stuck. They don't know what to do. They got a couple ideas in their head. What are 3 tips when they hear this they could go ahead and do? So I think I really, when I said that let go and be dragged, I really mean that. Like, I feel like when you are hitting obstacle after obstacle after obstacle, like, even if it's little, even if it's like your boyfriend's cheating and your job's been,
cut you out of there, the paycheck came in late, like, and it just is like, man, all these little things are adding up and things are terrible right now. I truly believe that's the universe's way of telling you you're going the wrong direction. And did you ever see Bruce Almighty, the movie with Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
Right? And he's going, God, give me a sign. And then there's a stop sign. And it's, God, I need you to give me a sign. And then there's blinking flashing lights. And he's like, God, I just need you to do this thing for me. And then there's a bunch of and then he said, God, I just don't understand why you've forsaken me. Why haven't you showed up for me? And he ends up crashing into a brick wall. And he was like, oh, and he was all mad. And it was like, I showed you 10 times that you're going the wrong direction. Like, I gave you 15 signs. And I truly think that, like, for me, when things get hard, that's when I have to stop and examine my life. And I have to go, okay, I'm doing something wrong. I don't know what it is, but it's something. And it's usually something that has to do with, like, my inner work, right? Like, it's something that I need to do for myself or my family, like my surroundings that need to pivot. And so, I may be making poor choices, or even if you aren't making poor choices, sometimes the universe is like, listen, you're not supposed to be a server at Applebee's. You're supposed to be, whatever. And so, and so I think, my number one thing is, if you feel like you're being dragged, you need to let go. You need to listen to that gut. We all have this animal instinct within us that we just know, whether it's the hair on the back of your neck or the feeling in your stomach, this isn't what I'm supposed to be doing. And you need to research, at least just stick a toe in the pond to see what would bring you joy. What is it that brings you light to your life? And do that. And then number 2 would be go to therapy. Go to therapy. Hell yeah. I don't care who you are. Find a sliding scale. Find somebody. There's plenty of network. There's availability. Everyone needs therapy. Especially if you're a kid of the 80s and 90s. And so that's my number. Yeah, that trauma. I mean, it makes us who we are. But again, I feel like growth really comes when you can start doing the work and reflecting inwards and saying, okay, my outward looks like shit because my inward is looking like shit. And then number 3. I don't know if that's a hard one. Because I feel like I live my life by those 2. I go to therapy every Tuesday. And every time I'm being dragged, I'm like, all right, team meeting with myself. Talk to myself and go, what is it that I'm doing wrong here? And I fix it.
So you'll be the first one to just do 2, because I think those 2 are very important, especially that first one that you said, because it's like I was thinking of the movie Pursuit of Happiness.
Oh, that movie.
When Will Smith's son was like, hey, I got a joke, and the person was on a boat and they sent them like an angel or something, didn't want it, sent him another one, and then he drowned on the 3rd time, and he was like, why didn't you send me help? He was like, I sent you two things, the 2 angels, you big dummy. And it was like, you look at it as a kid saying that, but that's life. There's signs. It's there. Hey, no. And the most important thing I took from that is sometimes you're not supposed to be doing what you think you're supposed to be doing.
Oh, my hell yeah.
Just because it's a job doesn't mean you need to be there.
Yep.
Just because there needs to be a cashier at the gas station or at Dollar Tree or wherever it is, don't mean you have to do it. Because I live in the hood, and I see a lot of older people, and it's like, you shouldn't have to be doing this. You should have been able to do something in your life that at whatever age you want to retire, you can retire and you can go do whatever you want instead of having to go get a job. Like, that's my goal, for my mom to ever have to go back. I remember her husband passed away because of COVID and all this different stuff, and then she went back to work. I'm like, why the hell are you working? And I don't want you to.
Here's the thing. That's where number 2 comes into play. Because if you go to therapy, you start to work through those limiting beliefs, right? The thought that I can't get out of this job because I'm not worthy, or I'm not qualified enough, or I don't know where to go, or I don't know who to talk to. Like, therapy then does the inner work to get you to that headspace where you can be like, hell yeah, fuck this job. I don't need that shit. I'm worth more than that, treatment.
Because when you get to talking to yourself like that, that's where the change happens. Because you can go in a job. I go in a job and I always look at people. I'm like, you don't know who the hell I am. That's your fault. Because you didn't want to have a conversation. But you're going to realize it when you be like, dang, I used to work with him. Yep, that's your fault. Because you didn't want to, whatever shell you in or whatever you got going on, you didn't reach out. And I go in rooms and I laugh. Because there's people in there because they got a name or they were popular or they got this title. And I'm sitting there and a lot of people don't speak to me because I don't know a lot of people. Even though I grew up in Indianapolis. I don't mess with people, so I'm just sitting there, and it's like y'all talking to everybody else. Y'all don't know who I am, and I just laugh at them because it's like, bro, y'all, you supposed to talk to everybody in the room.
Yeah.
Because you never know who's in the room that could benefit you, that could help you, that could have a resource. It might not. It might be the smallest resource, but that resource changed your life. But yeah, we definitely we might have to come back and do another one because we had good conversation. So tell people how they can reach you on social media. And no, before that, I need a quote. I always ask my guests for a quote. It could be your quote of the day.
It's my favorite quote, and I will repeat this quote a million times. When people show you who they are, believe them. When people show you who they are, believe them. The first time.
The reason why. Because of what you said in your tips, and then with that's just reassuring me of what my thinking. Yes, people will show you who the first time.
The first time. When you're dating somebody and you're just kiki and you're and he says, "Oh, I'm crazy, but I do this and I'm crazy." Listen to me. He told you 3 times I'm crazy. Yeah. He's crazy. Yeah. Or if he says, "Oh, I've only cheated on, a couple girls, but I don't do that anymore." Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You said you have done it.
No, let's let's not.
Listen,
I'm not a cheater anymore.
Listen, you can be reformed.
I can. I ain't been in a relationship since my last one, so I don't know. But yeah, I'm not. I don't even think like that. Like I don't. I had to have my fun. I think I had to get released back into my prime and understand life. But that's for another day. But that just hit me when you said cheater because I'm like, ouch.
But you got to do the inner work, though, right? Like you probably were dragged.
I'm gonna tell you something about that. Off camera, I can't tell you. I don't think we can talk about that yet. But you gave the quote. Now tell people how they can reach you, and then give us. I can't think of. I always say closing word, but give us an ending statement or leave us out with something that the people can take with them.
Okay, let's see here. So. You can get a hold of me several ways. Most people find me on TikTok. My handle is the same everywhere. It's Find a Lot to Love. My website is Find a Lot to Love, and it's not the number 2. It's actually like T-O. Mm-hmm. So FINDALOT TOLOVE. And my website's Find a Lot to Love. And on all of those websites and my Instagram and stuff, there's a link that's in my bio that takes you how to get a hold of me. And my tip, my last little snippet is just show up as yourself. That's all we ever ask. That's all the universe asks of you is just show up as yourself, and it'll work for you. It will.
On that note, keep being great.